So, on this episode, I want to talk about three particular updates that come from the ZCC Church. Number one, from the funeral of Solly Moholo, there was the speech of the daughter. I want to play a little bit of a portion of it, and then I'll talk about my update concerning that. There was also the subject matter of Winnie Mashaba over at the when she went to the memorial thingy and the whole entire thing of that she took a jet or whatever. And the issue was that people were asking for donations during the time when he was in the hospital, and so people took a flack at that. Number three, there was a guy by the name of Makena that I spoke about months ago, I think about 12 months ago, and he just completely disappeared after a video at How Train. And so looks like he was arrested and now he has been released. So I want to do all those updates all in this particular episode. It's Rick Share Show, daily Christian commentary videos. If it's the first time of the year show, check out some other videos that are down in the pinned comments, and I'm gonna check you out in the later on episode. In the morning, I'm not in the studio, but in the afternoon I will be. And so be on the lookout for that particular episode. I think I'm gonna do the update on the Seventh-day Adventist preacher who resigned. The church did respond. Or we'll start at Winnie Mashaba going to the memorial, then we'll talk about the funeral. So the issue here that people had with her coming to the memorial or whatever through a jet is that when people were asking for donations, we didn't hear much noise concerning whether donations were made from her. Now, nobody said there wasn't donations. Now, also, I think also the issue there was okay. The hospital bill, I think it was about 700,000. I heard something like that. I'm not sure exactly. Now, is there a South African artist that has 700,000 to just hand over to someone? Probably not. Okay, I think it's easier to guilt trip people, especially after a person passes. It's very easy for people to guilt trip people and say, no, you should have done more. Artists have schedules. And if they have schedules, there's time when they are expected at a certain place, and there's time when they're expected at a certain place. So you'll find that she was not going to make it to the memorial completely had she not rented that, right? It might be a couple of thousands in order to rent that. I think maybe 10, 15, 20,000. I don't know. I think it's a Cessna jet, isn't it? That's just for people that had heard that story, but probably never thought about those two angles that I mentioned there. The jet public is just a way of convenience for a schedule, right? Now, let's talk first on Makeda.
Ya bothata o boima bakgalana ya ba re tronko e monate ka mara se tlhakatlhaka o monate o boima o bothata mara o lokile re sa ikokobeditse tlasa moritho mo judge a ona taba amen ngwanaka wa di bona di ka mara se tlhakatlhaka ya mara ona taba ke di kae ka jeko ngwanaka ke di 23 tsa July.
We used to see a lot of videos of it, praising Ramarumo, which is the leader of the church and all that. And so I don't know where he went, and he did a video when he was at Gauteng. And he disappeared completely after making that video. And after his disappearance, people were asking, did he do one of those rituals of his? Because he would like doing these rituals things where he goes to the major waters and just be doing whatever he's doing over there. And so there's a lot of speculation on whether he went for a ritual and he didn't come back.
Wa bona di rapela modimo ka bothata ka boima di ra di tswile matla. I don't know monna Makena o tlo nna mogwa 10 years ka mara se tlhakatlhaka a ra maruma ra o khonale ai mo lefatsheng ngwana ka mara o lokile re sa o rapela modimo Jerusalem beyond the dark ngwanaka wa di bona a ona ntate modimo nthuse.
So turned out he was actually arrested. There was even a video that came out. I didn't do an update on that. I think it was a few months back. There was a video that came out where he said somehow he landed himself in jail. And so I think he was there for like a year or something like that. And recently he was released and he was talking about speaking to a snake and speaking to a fish. And I was like, what?
Makena. Ntena lengane. Lefatsheng. Irang ito. Tlhapi ya moya. Tlhapi ya moya. Ya. Tlhapi ya moya. Ah, ya. Yes, sas ngwanaka. Moporofeta lefatsheng. So o tsene ka mara metsi wa e topa. Wa tswa le yona. Ntle le nthola yo haka. Lefatsheng. Ayakhwa. Lina lona ke eng? Ke lina le ke eng? Teka famba. Tendara. Ngwanaka. Lefatsheng. Ke a utlwa ke lefatsheng. Ya. Eish. Ke bona.
Why is it not moving now, my fish?
You must just revive it a little bit. It's too shallow. You want to throw it back?
Yeah. Remember when I do yeah, please do it for me. I do a catch and release.
Oh, you do catch and
Yes.
Catch and release.
You must revive it a little bit. It's too shallow here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Can you pick it up? Let's see that is alive.
Still alive.
Yeah. Revive it back. Take it back. I spoke to it. Where is it? Oh, it's going. My God is great, man. You know what I'm doing there? I pray to God of Mount Zion.
Or to throw it back?
Yes. It's a messenger.
What doctrine do they teach at the ZCC church that people are out here speaking to fish and snake? And I just found it kind of weird what he was saying. But that's a subject altogether of another day because if you listen to that part of doctrine, it lines up with those guys that went to the river and they saw a snake there. And they said, "Baumba and what. You remember those guys? And also, it lines up with traditional belief systems where they say that ancestors appear to people in the form of an animal. Can be in the dream or what, can be a snake. So that completely lines up with all of those teachings and stuff. It's weird. I don't understand why people believe that, but hey, people believe all kinds of things. And so while he was claiming to speak to a snake, to a fish, or claiming to speak to a fish, if you remember that thing, it's not completely far or foreign from a lot of traditional thinking, but this is just intro because you'll remember in the garden, Eve was speaking to a snake. She was given companionship to work with her husband. So she had someone to talk to, the snakes. We shouldn't, because in the state of the fall, there were things that were implied there that we should not even interact with. They were in the state of the fall, we have no interaction. And also, man is created in fellowship to other men. If you listen to a lot of the laws that God laid out for Israel, it's to treat creation under his subjugation, basically, or to have it all subject to him, not this interaction of ritual for snakes and snakes talking to it. No. We're not subjected to that. We don't. We have mankind that we are to be in fellowship with, and so this whole thing. I wanted to give a little bit of background for that. This whole thing of men engaging in ritual conversations with beings outside of mankind comes after the fall. And we should be very careful concerning it. We should steer clear away from it and not allow ourselves to be taken up or roped up into that. And so whenever I hear him talk about speaking to a snake, it's just kind of like weird, but that's the update concerning him. He's been released from prison. And so I thought, let me add that in here so that we have a little bit of context concerning what happened to him. So I thought that would be interesting to hear, but also I wanted to talk about the Solly Moholo's daughter's speech. So
ke nna Lobisa Molokwane the daughter of the legendary, the magnificent, an icon, a loving husband, a loving brother, a loving uncle, and a great friend. Ke utlwile botlhoko ha ke lefa. It was a tough journey. Papa o rorobile pelo, empa ke thato ya Modimo. Ke a mo leboga. Nna ke hodile ka lerato le tlhompho. Papa na rata tlhompho, and tlhompho ha e ra hore o tlhompha motho o moholo fela. Le bana wa ba tlhompha. Ha kore ha hapelletse motho hore a be se a seng sona. And then o rata batho ba botlhe. Papa, he's so loving. Ene, Papa o ne a rata mosadi a hae, Lebohang Marishani Molokwane. O ne a mo rata and o ne a mo tlhompha. Small things such as good morning, my love. Small things such as Lebo, ke a Botswana, or ke a kae, ke a o laela, my darling, kopela o sale pila. Those are the things that Lord Papa Nadira on a daily basis. Se sa le sa mmone e le Solly Moholo. Papa o re laetse. There was a time e le hore o khone go tsoga a rapella sepetlele se sotlhe manese. A re rapella ba botlhe le mosadi a hae ke a mmitsa. Nahana motho a lwala fela mara o rapelela le rena. That's what my father was. I can't explain him, even words are not enough.
You might have heard there, he mentions about such a loving man and everything. And yeah, I think everybody could kind of see that. He was a very jolly person. Even when people met him and they took videos and stuff like that, he was very much visibly that. He embodied that she's talking about. And also this aspect of him, praying for people that his family, even though he was still in sickness. Yeah, that's the duties of a household, of a husband in the household, and it's good to have that because that's how it's supposed to be. Man is priesthood over his household, and so it's good to hear that he held that even at his household. And for a lot of people, this is not necessarily the context that they have of the family, but it is a concept of what he says. Remember, he says, God over Christ, Christ over the husband, and the husband over the household, and then the wife over the children. And so that's the context of authority within the household from a biblical perspective. Now, for a lot of people, that might not be the case. They don't have that. Either they grew up in a household where there was one parent and stuff like that. But that practice of authority, it's pretty much how it's supposed to reflect father over the whole household. And it's good to hear that that's the kind of a viewpoint that he had. Now, the rest of us should also try to emulate that in spite of what we got when we were raised. And so the problem is that we become too busy, we become too occupied with life that we just do not get ourselves to that place. Thought that was quite an interesting one to note. I did hear this video played out from someone's channel, and I thought to come here and actually give it a little bit of a play. That's the duty of a husband over their household. And that's the duty that we should all emulate. It's Ricky the show with Dead Christian commentator videos. Tell me your thoughts down in the comments section, and I'll see you on the later on.